Am I the asshole for being mad at my wife for being friends with my late friend's cheating ex? Me, 32 male, married with my wife Lucy, 31 female, feels like it's unraveling at the seams. I just have so much anger, disgust, and resentment inside me to the point that regular everyday living feels impossible. I want to scream all the time, and it feels like I'll never be my carefree self again. Yes, I'm in therapy, and have told my wife I really think we need couples/marriage counseling too. She's thinking about it. This is long, so if you can be bothered to read it, buckle in. My best friend Felix was my ride or die. We met when we were 5 and have been inseparable since then. We were there for each other during all of life's big moments and turns. His place turned into my second home when my parents went through their explosive divorce when I was 11. I was there for him and mourned with him when his younger sister died of cancer when we were 15 and she was only 10. You name it, we worked through it. He was the only one to not freak out on me when I decided to drop out of college to pursue a trade. There was never a moment where either of us were worried about the other's reaction or what they'd say or think. Felix was the type of guy people knew could make anyone feel better, regardless of the situation. He always knew what to say and what you needed, even if you didn't agree at the time. He's the best person I've ever had the privilege of meeting, and the world was a better place with him in it. I unfortunately know I have to put this in here. No, Felix and I were never in love with each other like that. We were really close best friends, brothers. Felix met his wife Sally in his junior year of college, and I knew Sally was going to be the greatest love of his life. She was so open, warm, and adventurous. Like Felix, she had a smile that lit up the whole room and effortlessly made everyone feel like her best friend. Everyone, including myself, looked at them as that perfect couple everyone knows. They got married 2 years into dating. Felix always told me how excited he was to love, hold, and protect her forever. All the ways he wanted to make her happy. He showed his love for her every day in his words and actions. I was so happy for him because I thought she did the same. I helped her plan his surprise 30th birthday party, where he was reduced to tears upon seeing she spent hours making him a Mario Kart Rainbow Road themed cake. They talked about children, holidays, rescuing animals, growing their own fruits and vegetables. Sally quickly became a sister to me and became very close friends with Lucy. The four of us went on countless holidays, helped each other through life's challenges, went on at least one double date a fortnight, etc. About 5 months ago, I woke up to 5 missed calls from Felix between the hours of 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. the night before, and I just had a feeling something really bad had happened. I called out of work and drove straight to his place. Sally had been cheating on Felix pretty much their entire relationship. When I confronted her and asked how she could do such a thing, and why get married in the first place if you're going to cheat the entire time, she broke down and told me it was more like living a double life. Sally is gay. She'd known since she was a teenager but never felt like she could come out because of conservative family. She met Felix and fell in love with him and counted on her feelings for women just somehow going away. She said she genuinely loved him as a person and life partner, but that secret part of her only grew stronger and louder over the years. She casually dated and hooked up with women, telling Felix she was hanging out with friends from her hobbies, friend groups. He only found out the night he'd called me because one of the women Sally was seeing wanted to take their relationship further and freaked out when Sally broke up with her instead. This woman showed up to their house late at night and told Felix everything. Felix was absolutely shattered. He gave everything to Sally and loved her wholeheartedly, and it wasn't even with the real her. She claimed to love him, but I can't help but think she was using him. She lied to everyone, let us think she loved and adored Felix as much as he loved her, all so that she could have her cake and eat it too. I was quick to tell Felix he deserved better, but Sally apparently begged on her hands and knees, told him she really did love him and that she was willing to do anything to make it better. She would never talk to any women ever again. They could move somewhere new and start fresh, all that bullcrap. Felix fell into a deep depression because he realized he never knew the real Sally, but he did really love her. He agonized over what to do until he got hit by a drunk driver while out on a late-night walk 2 months ago. I won't go into how it felt to lose him. I'm sure you can all imagine. It was made worse by having that bitch crying at his funeral, crying like he really was the love of his life, and she was the perfect wife. It was the first time in my life I ever wanted to hit someone. I couldn't believe the audacity she had to show her face around Felix's loved ones, especially the ones that knew the truth. Lucy knows how I feel about Sally, and I thought she understood that Sally is dead to us. I know I can't dictate who a person can be friends with, but if I had a mutual friend with Lucy that shattered her as much as Sally did to me, I'd cut them off with no question. I can't be friends with someone who hurts my loved ones like that. About 2 weeks ago, I came home from a work trip early, and Lucy was consoling Sally in our living room. I lost my shit, asked them if they were having an affair, screamed to the point of crying. I asked Lucy how she could have Sally in the living room where we have a photo of Felix hanging on the wall. Sally tried to apologize to me. I looked at her crying face, and it was like a switch flipped in me. I immediately stopped crying and yelling, and I just looked at her and said, "The biggest injustice here is that you're here while Felix is on the ground. If the world were fair, I'd be able to press a button to swap your places, and I'd do that in a heartbeat. You might be able to trick my wife into feeling sorry for you, but you're dead to me. I see what you really are, and you're trash. You tricked Felix into falling in love with you so you could pretend to be mommy and daddy's good little straight girl while fucking whoever you wanted on the side. I can't even fathom or quantify your selfishness. If I woke up tomorrow and I was you, I'd never get out of bed again." Lucy says I was cruel, and I guess I was, but it was my truth. Apparently, Sally hasn't left her house since that confrontation. It's to the point she's lost her job because of not going into the office. The thing is, I don't feel bad about it. I think it's the least she could do, and I hope she continues to not exist in my world. Lucy knows I feel this way, but still goes to Sally's place to bring her meals and help clean up the place. It honestly disgusts me. We've had many explosive arguments about it, and for the first time in our marriage, I feel like we might not recover from this. We both feel like we've seen a new side to each other, and we don't know if we'll be able to move past it. I write this here because we've kept this situation to ourselves. Other people in our lives know something is up, but have been too afraid to ask. I guess I want other people's opinions on my thoughts and feelings on this matter, even if everyone thinks I'm an asshole. I was brutally honest with her about how I feel about her when I found out my wife is still friends with her and brings her to our house when I'm not home. Wife and I are arguing because a friend's wife is now depressed from my reaction to her being at our house. Wife thinks I'm being cruel. I'm disgusted that my wife can be friends with trash like that. It's been such a messed up situation, and my feelings have been all over the place, so it really lifted a weight off my shoulders to see people could understand why I felt and acted the way I did. A further thank you to people who reached out to me and shared their experiences losing a best friend. I'm sorry you guys lost your best friends too. It's like a sledgehammer to the chest that won't dislodge itself. On to the update. It's only been a week, but it's felt like forever. Lucy couldn't handle the fights and disagreements anymore and packed her bags the day after my post. I knew this was probably for the best and didn't have it in me to argue or fight for her to stay. I just asked, "Are you going to Sally?" To which she just sighed and shook her head at me before leaving. Her eyes had nothing but exhaustion and disdain inside, and to be fair, I'm sure mine were the same. The town I live in isn't that big, so I've had a few friends reach out to me that they saw Lucy at Sally's place, or that the two were seen grocery shopping together. I wake up every day to an empty house, knowing Lucy is at Sally's, looking after her, asking if she's okay, cooking her meals, cleaning her house. She hasn't called or texted me at all, other than to answer my call last night with, "I'm not going to talk to you until you apologize to Sally," and hanging up when I try to explain myself. I know I'd be lying if I said I felt bad for what I said to Sally at all. There's no point in hollow apologies, and I especially don't think there's a point if there's nothing left to fix in my marriage. Lucy has made it clear where her loyalties and priorities lie. I just don't understand how she can go from holding me while I cried in her arms to choosing Sally over me and ignoring me. My therapist is advising me to let myself just feel my feelings and process before making any big life choices, and she's probably right, but I've lost all respect for Lucy. I never would have thought she'd betray me this way. I lied awake last night when I suddenly had the thought, what if Lucy came back on her hands and knees, begging and apologizing? What if she gave me the best apology she could possibly give me for this situation? What would it change? It breaks my heart, but deep down, I feel like it wouldn't change anything. There's some things that can't be forgiven. There were a few comments and DMs asking if Lucy and Sally could be having an affair, or if Lucy knew about Sally before everything exploded. These questions did keep me up when all of this started going down. But now, I can't bring myself to care. My life doesn't make sense anymore, so another clusterfuck detail wouldn't really change much in the grand scheme of things. I've drafted a text that could be the last text I send to Lucy, and it goes as follows. Lucy, your priorities and loyalties in this situation have been made very clear to me. I don't know if you want to try to save our marriage and the life we've built together, but at this point, I don't think there's anything left of it to save. You abandoned me during what I can only hope is the worst time of my life. You've invalidated my grief and anger for what? The woman who's been lying to and betraying us for years? The woman who used and strung Felix along for years? I don't recognize you right now. It's like I went to bed in a world that made sense one night and woke up in a nightmare. I think the only way forward here is for us to get lawyers and communicate through lawyers. I will not be leaving my house. If you want to collect your things, please let relatives know so I can arrange that with them. I can't believe this is happening. I never thought this would be what we've become, but choices have been made. I've been reading and redrafting this message over and over again for hours. Sometimes it breaks my heart, and other times it's like I'm an outsider watching myself in a bad movie. The worst thing is, I don't even know if Lucy will care about it. I guess I'll let you guys know if I send it. I know this can't go forever. Note: Lucy left the house to pretty much go look after Sally at her place full time. I have a really strong feeling we're going to end up divorcing. The damage is done. There's a mini update. I'm gathering all of my important documents and screenshotting all of my attempts at communication. I've had a few people ask in comments and direct messages about what I said to Lucy in our arguments to make her leave. I didn't put that in here originally because we were honestly just going in circles again and again. It was nothing short of exhausting. Lucy kept on insisting that Sally is still one of her closest friends and that she's not going to abandon her because she made a mistake. To which I'd remind her that her mistake was to make the choice again and again to lie to Felix and everyone around her, robbing Felix of the chance to find someone who would truly love him the way he deserved while sleeping with and dating women while they were married. I can't imagine how scary it must be having to hide such a big part of yourself. But not everything can or should be forgiven. She could have been honest early on, and she would have had a group of friends who'd have her back and support her however they could. But instead, she chose to string Felix along. If Felix had died thinking he had the perfect marriage he thought he had, things would be different, but he didn't. He died lost and in pain as a direct result of Sally, the feeling lost and in pain. I know his death was an accident nobody could have seen coming. Lucy thinks and claims I'm a callous fuck, and I think she should have higher moral standards for her friends. My girlfriend told me she was with a friend, but that friend was with me picking out an engagement ring. How do I confront my girlfriend about her lie? God, this is a doozy. I swear my life feels like a movie right now. I am planning on proposing to my girlfriend of 3 years. Now, I suck at picking out jewelry. I'm the type of guy that doesn't see a problem with heart-shaped jewelry. Seriously, why is it considered so ugly? So every time I want to buy something for my girl, I usually consult one of our mutual friends. My girl's best friends are all friends with me as well, and we all get along well, so asking them for help picking out jewelry is something I'm used to. When it came time to pick out a ring, I consulted my girlfriend's best friend, Justine. Justine and I are quite close, and she knows my girlfriend better than anyone, including me. So, when my girlfriend went out to visit her sister and baby nephew, I invited Justine over to the house to help pick out a ring. Justine and I looked through a few catalogs, but decided it was a dead end, and it would be better to go to professionals at a jewelry store. However, I didn't know when my girlfriend would be coming home, so Justine and I thought of a clever text to gauge how much time we had. I asked her when she'd be coming home, as I was ordering takeout, and wanted to know when to tell them to have the food ready by. She responded by saying it would be a few hours. She met up with Justine to go shopping. Now, obviously this took me by surprise since Justine was standing inside my house. I showed Justine the text, and she looked as confused as I was. It isn't out of the ordinary for my girlfriend to meet up with people out of the blue like that, for shopping, lunch, etc. She's a very spontaneous person and loves making plans on the fly. So ordinarily, I would have believed this text in a heartbeat. However, obviously this had to be a lie. When she came home, she acted completely normal, and I played along, but it's been really hard to act like everything's fine. We got takeout, ate together, and cuddled on the couch after. So far, she's caught on a little that something's upsetting me, but I just can't tell her what. Looking at her kills me. I don't know what to do. My girlfriend and I have zero trust issues, and we tell each other everything, so this lie is killing me. I want to ask her about it so bad, but if I tell her I knew she was lying, I'd have to explain why, and I really don't want to do that. What do I do? I know she lied to me, but I don't know how to confront her about it. Should I just forget it? This won't stop gnawing at me. Please help, decided to confront my girlfriend. I thought about using some of the lies people suggested, but they just wouldn't make sense. To say I ran into Justine somewhere. Well, I told my girl I had to stay home and do stuff around the house, and that's why I couldn't go with her to see my SEL. To say Justine was helping me pick out jewelry, it doesn't make sense for her to come all the way to our house to help me pick out a piece of jewelry unless it was a serious piece of jewelry, like an engagement ring. If I just wanted to get her a piece of jewelry as a gift, I'd ask her friends for suggestions or ask them to send me pictures of jewelry she might like. It all happens over text. None of the excuses made sense. So, I decided to be honest. I basically just said that I knew we'd been thinking about marriage, and she probably knew a proposal was coming soon, so I invited Justine over to help me find her the perfect ring, and that so happened to be the day that she said she was going to see her. So, what's the deal? She immediately started grinning like an idiot and prodding me about proposing and the ring, but then we got back onto the topic of where she was, and she confessed what she was really doing. No, she wasn't cheating, and no, she wasn't picking out a ring for me. So some people are dog people, and some people are cat people. Well, me, I'm a snake person. I grew up with snakes my whole life, but I never felt I was able to get one because my girlfriend has always been uneasy about living with a snake, which I completely respected. Also, the process of buying and raising a snake is very different than that of buying and raising a dog or cat. It's quite complicated. So you could imagine my surprise when my girlfriend showed me a picture of her holding the cutest Kenyan sand boa I have ever seen. Needless to say, my girlfriend was going to surprise me with a snake. We're picking her up next week. I definitely did not expect this, and I feel bad for ruining the surprise, but oh well, life is good. Sorry if this isn't the ending you guys wanted or expected. Just a snake, haha. Thanks for listening.